8,760 pounds, the fairly unique Cougar 29 RKS here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is a model I've seen a few other brands attempt to clone, but they seem to always miss some of the fine details of the Cougar, which is why I think they don't sell and maybe the Cougar does. So what is this thing? What makes it tick? Well, if what you're looking for, you want like that big living feeling, you like to do some outdoor sort of camp cooking stuff like that, but you're not looking for one of these 37-foot, 13,000-pound monster jobs yet. You need something hot, cold rated for, you know, pretty much any time use. Oh, and you like the idea and the comfort of a full-time RVing warranty. Well, Cougar 29 RKS fits all of those bills. Like most rear kitchens, this is a destination intention trailer. It's not really made with the idea of being travel accessible and functional. But what's cool here is, considering the size, weight, class, category of this RV, we have ourselves a just big, expansive living space with an awesome kitchen full of prep area. So like all Cougars, we have that, well, all of the max size windows here through the slide out. And those are a neat wooden plantation style blind. They actually pull up and down like a pleated shade, but they do a much better job of blocking the sun. And the other thing is, you can easily clean them. You can see that we've outfitted this one standard. This would have a booth dinette. We have built this with a freestanding table and chairs, which, especially since it's right next to the kitchen there, it just feels right. It feels appropriate. And I don't know, there's some benefits to the booth, but considering this also has a full-on trifold hide-a-bed, I just don't think that you need the booth in this model. I think you prefer that lighter, more open look of the table and chairs and the individual seating comfort. Speaking of comfort, we have power theater recliners here, and they have their own little USB plugs built right into each side of that armrest there. So that if you want to keep some phones charged up while you're sitting in your chair, you got the perfect little spot to do it. As with previous generations, we have sealed edge counters throughout this Cougar series here. And the amount of storage space and whatnot that you get back here in this kitchen, and that big window right on the campsite for some campsite viewing, it just gives it a very sort of home style look and feel. One of the other things they've done really well here in this kitchen is provide plenty of easy access power outlets above those two giant drawers. There's household and USB plugs right there. On this rear wall, there's a twin set of household plugs, perfect for coffee makers. I mean, that is, you know, easy reach appliance country here. And that's something a lot of RVs aren't good at, but I'll say Cougar and Montana, your Keystone fifth wheels seem to be really dialed in on that fact. You know, great space. I love that big overhead cabinet next to, or rather above the sink, but nothing's really like in your way. And that's one of the other things I like, not having a big cabinet in your face directly over the sink. If you're standing at the sink doing prep work, you don't feel like you're left out of what's going on, especially with the big tilt-around entertainment center that we're going to see in a minute. Even if you're doing some kitchen work, you can still keep on track of what's going on the screen. Very handy if you're trying to keep up with those, you know, like vote for your favorite musician performer type shows or whatever. Big space here for a wastebasket, and you can see plenty of full extension drawers here. Not only just those big mega drawers that we're seeing come around view on the other side of the counter, but, you know, triple normal kitchen drawers there as well. Now, all around our entertainment center is also storage space, and it's actually pretty deep, pretty good functional space. They really did a good job of maximizing your use and function of every area of this RV, kind of making the entertainment in the kitchen sort of bleed together a little bit. Now, in addition to having those nice sink covers to give us prep space and the little like dish drying rack there, you can see we do have a very deep stainless sink and some high-rise stainless sprayer faucet hardware here to go with it as well. And like I said, if you're standing here in the kitchen, you don't lose out on anything. You're still part of it. Now, I've always called rear kitchens entertainers floor plans because everybody knows the party ends in the kitchen. But this one's a really good example of that, because people, whether you're at the table playing cards, at the kitchen pouring drinks, if you have friends over, I'm just guessing, you don't really lose out on anything. Now, the TV can pivot the other way as well. So if you have friends visiting and you're all hanging out on the twin sofas over here, it's a cool little conversation corner. Now, I've got one of those shades pulled down next to the sofa so you can see that kind of wooden blind style thing. Like I said, the cool thing about those is you can actually clean them, which is something, you know, a lot of RV window shades are not good for. But this one's good for more than just visiting guests. Whether it's the little ones staying or maybe you have some, you know, big friends staying, and maybe you just have a little too much fun back here in the Margarita Station kitchen and you don't want them driving home. You've got some good guests sleeping here, and with that TV being able to swing the other way, it's actually really cool at night, especially for the little ones if you do need to put them down to kind of take a nap. Now you can turn off all your main cabin lights, then over here in the slide, you actually have dimmer lighting. So if the little ones need some form of little evening night light, you have that ability. I tell you, the other time that's really nice is if you're all trying to watch a movie at night and you just don't want any direct, hard, bright lights on, but you still want to be able to see a little bit of what's going on in here. That's where something like that is really handy. Now, below that, of course, our electric space heating fireplace, and hidden within the left-hand lower cabinet is our entertainment unit, where our DVD, Bluetooth, stereo kind of thing is. Pretty run-of-the-mill kind of electronics, although I do like this big 4K HD TV, and they are running HD wiring through there. There's been some misconceptions about that in previous years about who's running what wiring and where. Now, right over here in the main entry door, a thing I really want to point out is that this does have a full like viewing window in it. Now, it's a little bit rainy outside, as you may have noticed earlier, so you know, not the prettiest view right now, but the fact is, it is still nice to let that extra light in there. And up here, kind of in the sort of hallway area, we have the brains of the camper. At least this is the, maybe this is more of like the face of the camper here, the in-command system. Usually it's 4 zeros, and congratulations it is. What's cool is anything you can do off of this, whether it's run the interior lights or run the heating and cooling system or slides or anything like that. You can do, yes, I know my battery's low, thank you. But you can do all of this right off your phone. So what's cool about that is if you're laying in bed and you're getting too hot, you can turn the air up, down, inside, down, whatever you want, you know. If you're sitting in bed and you hear a funky noise outside, you can kick on your exterior lights and see what's going on. It's kind of cool, all the different little things you can do with it. But you don't always want to have to trek clear across the camper to get to that touchscreen. You don't always want to have to grab your phone and mess with it. The good news is they thought of that. And you notice, even all the way back here, you can control your lighting. And there's a similar switch that controls just the bedroom lights in the bedroom. So you still have switches across the RV to be able to access just simple things like your lights. You're not stuck just using a digital control pad. And man, what a difference the lights make in here, right? The bathroom here is basically a miniature version of a Montana bathroom, but really not miniaturized that much despite this massive size and cost difference between them. Still a very similar, very effective design. You got that foot floor stool, easy step-in big shower. I love the clear shower doors, how it makes the whole room look and feel larger. Corner seat there for some bathing comfort. Not to mention the fact you got more sealed edge countertop material stuff here with a big adult size sink and matching extra large vanities. So you got plenty of room for shavers, medication, toothpaste, band-aids, etc. Up here in the bedroom right next to the bathroom, one of the things I don't know I've done a good job of historically in these Cougars is showcasing that huge campsite airflow viewing window that you have in there. It lets in a ton of light, lots of airflow, lets you get a good look at your site. Both sides of the bed have these nice side stands with household and USB plugs, meaning they're good for like heated blankets, CPAPs, phone chargers, this, that, and the other thing. Now those are not hanging closets hanging above the bed on both sides there. They're just general storage cabinets. And you'll see that there's more than enough hanging storage in this 60 by 80 True Queen bedroom. Now Cougars did some revisions in recent history. They got rid of that big 9-inch ankle breaker step of death that used to exist all around the beds there. Oh, by the way, these are 50 amp service. If you want to, you can add a second air conditioner here, but keep in mind, your main AC is already a 15,000 BTU centralized air unit, and all Cougars, even this one here, not even the big giant bed slide Cougars, they're all like seasonally insulated and rated for like hot, cold camping. They're just like up to 110 degrees or something like that. So even without adding the second air, this thing has an awesome hot weather prevention package with the lighter skin, the radiant barrier, and the white liner on the roof. And the mirrored doors on this large, generously sized hanging wardrobe closet here, they make the whole room look and feel larger. You get more perception of space that way. But what I love is how they didn't just make it wastefully tall. They included dresser drawers at the bottom, but adding the shelf above them there, it adds yet another like layer, basically, of storage space. And as I mentioned, those are not just, you know, hanging closets. They're full-on storage compartments on either side. So those are almost like additional dresser spaces on either side of this True Queen bed right here. Which, by the way, easy lifts and has full storage below. Below that bed that we just looked at and the bathroom deck is this huge pass-through compartment. And this is so close to the exact same size and dimensions of Big Cougar here and what you call Little Cougar. It's crazy how much storage they managed to push into it. Now down here, this is really the central nervous system of the in-command system. That's where all the wiring and everything comes through. There's also a manual override switch in there for your awning motors, jack motors, slide motors, so there's still a physical switch you can utilize. More motion sense lighting out here. I didn't talk about that indoors, but there's several areas where you have motion sense lights in this RV. And the red switches right there next to the TV hookups are your 12-volt tank heater switches. So if it is going to be a cold camp situation, you've got that extra protection. A little over a full season ago, Cougar swapped over to the MORryde stable steps to go below their anti-slam entry doors with their larger handles. And that's a 6.5 foot tall door, by the way. So what that means in English, all of that together, easy come and go without the trailer getting rocked and rolled and jostled and pulled around. Instead of the little college kid dorm fridge, they've got the larger outside fridge here. So the two fridges together come up to just about pretty close to 12 cubic foot of total space. You've got that handy little spice rub rack there and a set of outlets on the right side tucked away out of the corner with plenty of room to add some appliances up there. Very handy if you're not using that really hot burning Capital Grill system. The awning, it goes over that big deep slide, and sometimes that gives people a bit of a heart attack, but it goes well beyond it. You can see how it goes way past it here. There's still plenty of room for a picnic table, and basically it's operating as a free slide awning, which is something that people can spend a lot of money on that you don't have to worry about spending a lot of money on now. Below our fully painted nose cap, we see the first of two ride and handling upgrades that you'll find on a Cougar. First of all, with the Trail Air rubber shock dampening pin box. It's a little trickier to see because I got to crawl under the thing, but you have a matching rubber shock dampening Road Armor suspension system as well. It's technically a Road Armor pin box by Trail Air if we're going to get ultra picky, because I know that there's somebody out there waiting for me to slip up in the videos. It always amazes me. I can put together a 55-minute video and somebody only points out the one thing I don't talk about or slip up on. Anyway, the fully painted nose cap here, that goes along with Cougar's 3-year structural warranty. Like Montana, this is full-time RVing warranted, and that is basically a completely unprecedented and unrivaled quality in this size, class, and price point. I don't believe there's anyone else. Now, I've seen another manufacturer on their brochures, they put a blurb that said rated for seasonal camping, but there's absolutely zero explanation what that means. It says right on the front of Cougar's brochure, warranted for full-time RVing, even their travel trailers. Now these are being made more solar friendly, and if you choose to add some solar stuff, that's right where the charge controller would go right there. And, man, I can't believe I didn't talk about this sooner, because there's a lot to talk about on Cougars, but they've had optional auto leveling. They negotiated a special deal where they have gone to standard auto leveling at nearly no additional charge compared to what it used to be where it was closer to $2,000 to do it. Now it's like almost nothing, and hey, it's standard anyway. So you have all kinds of different solar options, but you still have a simple side mount solar prep next to the outside shower here in our fully enclosed docking center. Handy battery disconnect to prevent parasitic phantom load. And down here past our sewer hookup, you can see the fully enclosed underbelly. It is also heated, has radiant barriers there, and again on all holding tanks have 12-volt heat blankets to provide even in-transit protection to your Cougar's water system. And with the weather today, it's a good time to talk about the triple sealed system that go into these Cougar slides, and that really rough textured slide wall right there that does an excellent job of grabbing that water, rather grabbing the slide seals so that the water doesn't penetrate through. Now speaking of water, this is what I had on the brain. You see how all these water droplets are beaded up around the side here? That's because there's actually a water inversion groove on the bottom of that piece of trim. And that's the little stuff Keystone does on like all of their brands that I swear it's like no one else seems to be aware of. It's like no one else is aware that that little different piece of trim exists. I doubt it costs anything more, but the fact that it causes that water to bead up and drip instead of dribble, you know, into the subfloor of that slide, I think is a huge deal. You know, Cougar talks about how they have walkable slide roofs. I don't hear that from other people. It doesn't mean that they may not have it. it just means that if they don't talk about it, there's probably a reason for it. But Cougar does. Gives me confidence, you know. We have reverse travel lighting built right into those taillights, and you'll also find a 2-inch receiver hitch down there, so that, and that's factory installed standard, so that you do not void the warranty of your Cougar here. You're not going to lose out on that 3-year structural protection. Under the corner of that kitchen counter, there's a spot that you couldn't hope to get to. So they said, hey, no sweat. What if we open up outside and make it a handy little campsite utility area right next to that hot and cold full outside utility shower? And another neat thing back here behind the rear power leveling jacks is just a little sewer hose caddy, so that you don't have to have your black water stuff mingling with your freshwater stuff, because diphtheria, am I right? Now, like I said, I've been dodging raindrops. I had a chance to get in here and get up here between, you know, raining events. And a lot of people are thinking, dude, be careful up there on that roof when it's wet. Here's the thing, like, I get that, I appreciate that, but if you're going to clean your RV's roof, it's gonna be wet up here. So they used a roof membrane that is very, technical term here, grippy when it's wet. It really grabs your shoes. So it's not spooky up here whatsoever. It's no different than if you're hosing it off in the summertime. Now, between the white roof membrane, the radiant barrier, and things like these attic vents, Cougar is an absolutely stellar hot climate camper. So our snowbird, sunbird customers that love to come up here to Haylett RV and visit Michigan in the summertime and go back south in the wintertime, you will really like what you're seeing here. It is going to be a very comfortable experience. Also, new at the time of this filming, roof solar prep on these Cougar fifth wheels gives us the ability, if you want to, you've got a nice blank canvas right here, you could go pretty solar crazy and get yourself off-grid ready. And that's what's cool, is that it's right out the gate, it's ready for hot park camping or cold park camping, and you could make it off-grid ready very easily. Now, solar is one of those things that it varies from user to user so greatly. There's no like one-size-fits-all solar. So the thing there is they let you kind of build it to your level of comfort. And that's why we carry all these different things here at Haylett RV, because they all have different benefits, different advantages. So if you appreciate the effort we've put in here today, if you like the extra links that we're willing to go to, including climbing up on a wet roof on a rainy day, how did that person even get over there? Huh, weird. Okay, anyway, give us a call. We only do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. The only thing we don't do is hidden dealer fees. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.